sunny skies in the afternoon and a high near 35. In Baker City tonight, cloudy skies with rain showers this evening, low near 25 degrees, and for tomorrow, generally sunny conditions with a high near 35. This weather forecast is brought to you by
Grande Hospital. As one of Union County's largest private employers, we proudly support our local economy with stable family wage jobs.
Grande Hospital.
The one-day sale is back at D&B Supply this Saturday. Chock full of great deals on all the gear you need to work and play in the West. Outfit your entire family when you take 20% off all clothing, footwear, and accessories. Plus, save 10% on everything else, from pet food to grilling equipment to power tools and more. Some exclusions apply, of course. Save all day at the one-day sale this Saturday at your favorite D&B Supply.
President's Day. It's a flag-waving red, white, and blue national holiday, and it's more than just a day off. It's a time for great deals on your favorite Toyota models, including up to $3,000 in cashback savings, APR financing as low as 0%, or special low-payment leases. There's special savings on nearly every new Toyota. Come drive the all-new 2019 RAV4. It's a complete redesign from the ground up. Or check out the new 2019 Corolla and Corolla Hatch. Get special savings on Tundras, Tacomas, Highlanders, Camrys, and more. Plus, nearly every new Toyota now features Toyota Safety Sense, a complete suite of safety features, and they're all backed by Toyota Care, Toyota's no-cost maintenance plan for 2 years or 25,000 miles, whichever comes first. Safety, peace of mind, and great President's Day savings. The Toyota President's Day event has been extended. For full details, visit buyatoyota.com or see your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. All financing and approved credit through Toyota Financial Services. All vehicles subject to prior sale. All prices plus tax and title. Dealer doc fees vary by dealer. For more details, call 1-888-21-TOYOTA. Offers end 2/28/19.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care. I ever get back, so let's root for the home team. They don't win, it's a shame. 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
The Johnny Ballgame.
What's going on? Welcome, chuckleheads, to what we hope is your favorite sports talk radio program in the flesh. The Johnny Ballgame Show, brought to you by Benchwarmers Pub and Grill. What is it? What do we got today? A Wednesday? Going to turn the mic off for you tonight at 5 p.m., getting you to the TD Garden, Boston, Massachusetts, for Celtics Blazers tonight. And you talk big regular season games in the NBA, and there's not a ton of them. This is a big one tonight for Portland. Portland rolling, Boston diving. Boston not playing well lately. They'll be at home tonight. This has been bumped up to a little place called Espen. It's going to be on ESPN tonight, 5 p.m. tip. We will get you there on the radio side of things for your hometown team. Portland Trail Blazers, Brian Wheeler on the call. So we'll do that at 5 o'clock. Got a lot of stuff we want to get to. It's Combine Week. Dudes are starting to arrive in Indianapolis. You'll watch your shows on ESPN or NFL Network. They're broadcasting live from Indianapolis, the site, every year of the annual NFL Scouting Combine. So we'll talk about that today. I have a guest coming on the program. He is a former scout of the New Orleans Saints. He is a former scout of the Cleveland Browns, and he is the current director of research and development in football at Sports Info Solutions. There's a new book coming out in regards to the players in the draft, all 600 or some rookies who are eligible for this thing. And this looks like a heck of a book. And this guy is in. He's an ex-NFL scout, knows what he's doing. His name is Matt Manocherian, and he's going to join us in about a half hour on this show, really getting into the pro football scouting combine. Really getting into the combine. Some good combine talk. If you have questions for me to ask him, don't be shy. Email me, johnnyballgameshow@gmail.com, or text me, 541-962-7700. Get those texts and emails in, and maybe we'll ask him a question. A couple of guests in hour number 2 today. Cowboy blogger, going to stop by. Not a good last 24 hours or so for Dallas Cowboy fans. Stuff going on with that defensive line. We'll talk about it with my Cowboy guy, Cowboy blogger, and then Ronald Bond, your local sports editor for the Grande Observer newspaper, coming on. He'll talk EOU women in the national tournament. He'll give us the 411 on everything high school, the prep scene, and our local sports report. Brought to you by Blue Mountain Auto Parts there with my boy, Ronald Bond. That's also coming in hour number 2. Stuff floating around, maybe not quite top story worthy for me, but we will get to. Johnny Manziel has been released by the Montreal Alouettes in a very peculiar fashion. The Canadian Football League really not giving a lot of details, basically saying that he breached his contract. I don't know how or what he did to breach that contract, but Johnny Manziel looks like he's a free agent. What that means, I don't know. I mean, is the Alliance of American Football going to take a look? Well, we'll see. I think that'd be a cool thing for them to do. I love seeing the train wreck. I always slow down on the freeway when I see an accident on the side of the road. I always slow down. And Johnny Manziel right now is a stinking accident at the side of the freeway. I feel sorry for folks. It's tough for me not to feel sorry for Johnny Manziel. A lot of it's his own doing, no question. But man, that guy he hasn't been able to get things going in his life, and it's unfortunate because he had somewhat of a meal ticket there, and he wasn't able to take advantage of it. Oh, so we'll talk about that a little bit later too. Let me ask you this, kind of a question of the day: should the NFL test for marijuana? I mean, we're at the point now; it's legal in a lot of states. Certainly legal for medicinal purposes. Should the NFL test for that? I want to get your take on that. We'll take your calls on the Farmers Insurance Hotline. That's 541-963-4122. Johnny Ballgame Show, Benchwarmers Pub and Grill. Before we get to my top story today, couple things I wanted to mention. First off, if you're having reception problems catching this station, whether it's KBKR 1490 on your dial in Baker City or KLBM in Union County and LeGrand 1450 on the dial. If you're having problems, we're having sunspot issues. That's just a thing in radio where about 3-4 times a year you have sunspots that get in the way of the satellite and it interrupts the frequency. There's nothing we can do. We can't get up there and adjust anything. It's going to happen for, I think, the remainder of the week. Here and there, bits and pieces. You'll hear some weird stuff. That's all it is. It's a sunspot. Again, there's nothing we can do to fix it. It is what it is. Let's take a phone call on this. Farmers Insurance Hotline. Caller, welcome to the Johnny Ballgame Show. What you got for us?
Ball game, long time. It's Osseo.
This is not. No, this is Osseo. Are you flipping kidding me? Are you kidding me? Dude, Osseo. Ladies and gentlemen, where the hell have you been, man? Jeez.
Well, Osseo's been busy with little Osseo wrestling every week, 3 days a week, tournaments every weekend. You know, he's a brute out there for the Osseo Fairchild Youth Dragons first-time wrestling. So
Attaboy.
Busy.
Attaboy. That's him right there.
Kyler Murray, #1 pick. He's going to the Cardinals.
Oh, you like Kyler Murray to the Cardinals, then you trade Rosen where? To the Patriots? He back up Brady, learned under Tom there? Is that a good move for you?
Ooh, I mean, it could be. I mean, he'd fit their system.
That's what I'm hearing. Patriots might make a play for Rosen. The only question...
Is it really all on Rosen? He had horrible offensive line. I mean, it wasn't all on him, but they said his attitude was crappy.
Osseo,
nobody wanted to be around him.
Osseo, I'd rather have Josh Rosen than Kyler Murray. That's just me. I think we probably disagree on this. I don't think that...
I've been listening to a lot of sports talk and stuff, but everybody, wants that, stereotypical 6'5", 250 quarterback. Dude, look at Russell, look at Drew Brees, look at Baker. You don't need to be tall to be successful in the league no more, especially if you design your offense around one of these dudes.
What you're saying makes a lot of sense. I will wait and see. I want to see it. We will see it. Kyler Murray will probably be a week 1 starter in this league this year. We will see this kid at 5'8", 5'9", 5'10", whatever he measures out this week at the Combine. We will see it, and I can't wait to see it. I'm very intrigued by the whole Kyler Murray phenomenon. It's the top story of the draft this year, and I think for good reason. There's just a lot of questions people are asking and want answered in that regard, and heck, I can't wait to start the whole process there. I'm excited for the Combine. I can't wait to watch the kid work out. I can't.
and I have a feeling he'll run the fastest 40 in the combine this year.
Of any player.
Any position, any player. I mean, from what I'm hearing from reports and what I've been listening to on some digging into his stats and measurements and stuff, they're talking low 4.3s, high 4.2.
That would be insane. Yeah, I'm with you. If this kid comes in,
he's going to touch Ross's 4.22, but
John Ross, man, crazy dude.
And the Bengals are done with him. But more importantly, let's get to the craziness before I get off here. What's going on with the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Oh my gosh! I figured that's why you stopped calling me. You're just too irate about your Steelers and some of the things going on. I mean, when the hell?
You know what? I want Antonio Brown to be traded to the Green Bay Packers.
Okay. Why do you say Green Bay?
If they do that and get and draft a couple good offensive linemen, they're decent. They're talented at running back. I can't believe I'm saying this, but with him, they'll be the number one team in that division if Antonio Brown goes there.
Okay, yeah. I mean, and that's a possibility. Green Bay has some money they can work around with. There's some contracts they're going to drop there. And look,
I want their first 2-round draft picks. I don't want money. I want your first 2-round draft picks for Antonio Brown.
Both of them.
Both. 2019.
Aussios.
That's the 32nd and the 12th.
Okay. I think you're going to get one of them. I think you get one. Look, if I'm Green Bay, I got.
Give me one of them in Randall Cobb.
Okay, yeah, I got 3, maybe 4 years with Aaron Rodgers and good Aaron Rodgers years. I'm going to load up as much as I can because my window is right now. And I'm going to bring Antonio Brown in to work with Devontae Adams in that Green Bay offense. I'm going to do all that stuff. I would give that a strong look. You got 2 picks. I'm giving one of them, like you said, one of them and a pretty good player. Send them back to Pittsburgh. No question. When did Pittsburgh get so noisy? When did they become so filled with drama?
I'm a big Mike Tomlin guy. I like Mike Tomlin, but dude, you got to control the locker room.
Yeah.
And you know what? With Bell and Brown leaving, they're still going to be they're still going to be a number one team in that division. I mean, the Ravens are going to do that. Division's going to be insane next year.
Cleveland looks good next year, man. They look good.
With Lamar Jackson, he should have started the whole season.
Yeah, should have. Sure, he should have. Hey,
no Flacco to the Broncos. Look out.
Osseo Joe, you've served this country. I think you've been shot in the line of duty. Do you think, just based on your opinion, should the NFL still drug test for marijuana? Should they still penalize players for recreationally?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Why do you think that way, Ossios?
The reason why I say that now, one, it's still an illegal substance.
Okay, in some states, you're right. Not where I am in Oregon. It's not. It's just.
Put it this way. To run a big company, I'm sure they drug test. These players are making millions of dollars. They should be able to lay off the weed for a couple of months.
No, I'm with you.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it shouldn't be a problem for a player. I've talked to NFL players who use weed or recreationally, and it's really easy to bypass the NFL system. They give you months in advance of when they're going to test you if you're not in the program. They'll give you.
Man, when I was in the Army, it was every month. You lined up in front of a dude, and the dude seriously stood there and watched you tinkle.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's not like you go to a drug test, they send you in the room, please don't flush the toilet or wash your hands. No, these people literally watch you pee in a cup. There is no getting around it.
Yeah, I bet, man. Also, it's good to have you back, my friend.
Hey, before I go, I got a plane ticket, still booked. We got to get this together. I'm laid off this winter. So it could possibly happen here in the near future. It needs to. I need to get there, man.
We got to get you here, man. No question. Osseo, this is really weird that you called today because I had a dream last night that you called into the show, and I was thinking about it earlier. Like, oh, dude, I talked to Osseo last night in my dream. He called in the show because I dream that I'm on the air all the time.
I figured your following needed some Osseo in their life. They needed to get hyped up and the Packer fans, I've been quiet for a while, and I need to get them fired up with this draft coming up and the combine. Maybe I fly out there for the draft. That'd be insane.
The draft would be awesome. Maybe we'll talk about that, Osseo. Great stuff. Thanks for calling.
You bet.
Ballgame Show, Bench Warmers, Pub and Grill. Don't forget, like I said, my 3 automobiles of choice right now at MJ Goss Motors. The 2019 GMC Sierra, the 2019 Chevy Colorado, And I got a pre-owned vehicle that you will absolutely love. It's a 2014 Chevy Silverado. Check all three of those rigs out at MJ Goss Motors right now. If you test drive one, and you get one of the guys at Goss that can vouch for your test drive, I'll give you $25 to spend at Benchwarmers Pub and Grill. $25. If you test drive one of those three vehicles and you can give me proof that you're doing it, I'll give you $25 to spend at Benchwarmers Pub and Grill. We'll get to our top story a little late today. That's going to be a fun one coming up. Ball game show, Benchwarmers Pub and Grill, top story next.
Simplicity and savings. It's what you can expect with Legacy Ford X-Plan. We respect your time. No games and no haggling. Savings. X-Plan pricing that applies to all new Ford vehicles, plus the rebates you deserve on top of the very best price. X-Plan is for you. And now's the time to buy Ford, America's best-selling brand, with simple, direct savings. Exclusively with X-Plan for everyone at Legacy Ford. Visit legacyford.net, home of the $20 gas oil change.
Knee-High Enterprises in Baker City has served the Grand Ronde Valley for decades. How about saving some money this winter? New windows equal better insulation. Knee-High Enterprises has the best sales and service when replacing your doors and windows, both residentially and commercially. Your heat bill will be at an all-time low this winter with new doors and windows from Knee-High. They also sell and install garage doors and openers, the best brands in the business. Big enough for the big jobs, small enough to care. Knee-High Enterprises in Baker City.
On now! Get the max for your tax during our annual tax refund sale at Courtesy Home Furnishings Baker and Self-Service Furniture LeGrand. Your tax refund goes a long way because we've cut prices store-wide. Plus, get an extra 25% off retail on select items when you use your tax refund. It's your chance to spruce up your home and save on the brand name furniture and mattresses that you know and trust. Listen to this. Sofas as low as $299. Recliners start at $279. Queen mattress as low as $199. Do you have poor credit? No credit? Well, you're approved. And don't forget to ask about our cash discounts. See either store for details. Remember, we have factory direct buying power and we negotiated special pricing just for this event. You never pay retail. On now, get the max for your tax during the annual tax refund sale at Courtesy Home Furnishings Baker City and Self-Service Furniture LeGrand.
Appreciate all calls on the Farmers Insurance Hotline. Don't forget, get those text messages in today. That's the Northwest Furniture and Mattress text line. I'm not going to buy furniture anywhere else, ever. From Northwest Furniture and Mattress, I get the best deals, prices, service. It's everything I need. And look, the selection, they have the most space. They have the most stuff. Big fan of the recliner situation they have down there now. You get recliners at Northwest Furniture Mattress that have USB ports in them. Where you can charge your phone in your chair, looking at your fantasy team, watching the game. That's a pretty good little deal. Northwest Furniture and Mattress. Let's get this thing going today. Brought to you by Northwest Furniture and Mattress. Your top story on a Wednesday. Reported earlier today, the Philadelphia Eagles will not place the franchise tag on quarterback Nick Foles. This is from General Manager Howie Roseman. He said this today at the Combine, and I quote, "We are going to let Nick Foles be a free agent. He deserves an opportunity to lead a team." Closed quote. I guess just not your team, right, Howie Roseman? A lot of people in this football community and Eagle fans out there are thinking this is a mistake, that it should have been Carson Wentz as the player moved. You could probably get 2 first-rounders for Carson Wentz on the open market right now. And you can run with Nick Foles, build that roster around him. Seems like the players love playing for him. He's obviously had a tremendous amount of success quarterbacking the Eagles. He's started 32 games with the Eagles. He's won 21 of them in his career. 58 touchdowns to 23 picks, completes 63% of his passes with a quarterback rating of a 93.2. Very efficient numbers. He's been a good Eagle. That was a good run for him. Is this the best business move for the Eagles? No, it's not. But I think it's the right thing to do. It's doing your buddy a solid, even though, you could be better off going in another direction. Franchise tagging him. That way you get something for him. Put the restricted tag on him, which means, hey, a team can sign him, but if they're going to sign him, they have to give you, Philly, a pick in return. Philly could have done that, where they make sure they get a draft pick in return out of this. They're not going to get anything for Nick Foles except a big fat banner and a big fat ring in the facility, or trophy in the facility, and rings for everybody. That's what they got for Nick Foles. And again, it's a solid. It's the right thing to do. Nick Foles, look, I'm not a huge Foles guy. I'm actually in the Wentz camp. I just think he's significantly more talented. And I think with the next 10 years, I am much better serviced with Carson Wentz running my team than Nick Foles, my opinion. Look, yeah, Nick Foles won a Super Bowl. That's amazing. It's the only Super Bowl Philly has won. He's Rocky Balboa in that town for the rest of his life. Good for him. But just because you won the one doesn't mean you have a better chance of winning another one over Carson Wentz, in my opinion. I think over the next 10 years, next decade, Philly is making the right decision at quarterback, running with Carson Wentz. That's just my opinion. Not a big Nick Foles guy. I've seen him have success, and then I've seen him not have success. He's been a roller coaster of a career. There was a time he was almost retiring. There was a time it was like, oh, Nick Foles, journeyman Nick Foles. Oh, yeah, that guy with Philly, then with St. Louis, then with L.A., and then with KC, and then back to Philly. Oh, that Nick Foles. Okay, yeah. But I'll tell you this about Nick Foles. He deserves an opportunity to lead his own team. He does. He deserves that opportunity to run his own franchise. Similarly to, let's say, Trent Dilfer. Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl in 2000 with the Ravens, and he was cut. They brought in Elvis Grbac. Trent Dilfer was not picked up the following year as a starter. The Seattle Seahawks signed Trent Dilfer, and he backed up Hasselbeck. Trent Dilfer was never given the opportunity to lead his own team right after winning a Super Bowl. He was given the opportunity a few years down the road. He played with the Niners. That was kind of a joke. I think he might have had a cup of coffee in Cleveland. He was kind of a journeyman after that. Trent Dilfer never got that opportunity. I think Nick Foles will. Now, contractually, you're going to have to work stuff out. Nick Foles isn't going to come play for $6 million. Nope, he's going to want over 20. He's going to want about $20 million a year. I don't know how Washington can do this. They still owe Alex Smith. I don't know how the New York Football Giants can do this. Apparently, they're still going to be paying Eli. I don't know how the Jacksonville Jaguars do this. They still have Blake Bortles one more year. I look at teams like possibly the Miami Dolphins. I would have looked at the Denver Broncos, but it seems they've made their decision already. And then you always have to pay attention to this. Dudes getting hurt. Teddy Bridgewater busting his kneecap a couple of years ago, giving Sam Bradford the opportunity to come to Minnesota and play. One of those type of deals. Dudes tear ACLs, MCLs, LCLs in minicamp. Maybe that's an opportunity for Foles. But he deserves the opportunity. For a business move, I kind of shake my head on this with Philly. Like, you could have received something for him. And that was your right to do. And but no, Philly's being the good guy on this. They're being the good friend. They're doing him a solid. You're free to go. Just get out of here. Yep. We're not gonna, we're not charging you anything. We're not gonna make, trade you for anything. So we can dictate where you go. And I'll tell you this: if something does happen in New York with Eli, that's Nick Foles' best opportunity. I have receivers. I have running backs. I have pretty good defense there. The Giants aren't far away. And if I'm Nick Foles, that's the team I go to. And yes, they're in the same division. And of course, Philly's not going to want that. Think about this. Lincoln Financial Field, Philadelphia, Sunday afternoon. We're Philly fan, they're not, there's no shortage on booze in those stadiums, right? Could you imagine if Foles comes back with Big Blue wearing Giants gear in that stadium? Will they boo him? Yeah, they will. He's on the enemy now, even though he won them that Super Bowl. That would be interesting. I don't know where the market's going to be, but I think there will be one for Nick Foles, and good for him. He should be able to go wherever the heck he wants to go. He's a totally unrestricted free agent. He can go wherever the heck he wants to go. Ballgame Show, Benchwarmers Pub and Grill. Let's go back to the Farmers Insurance hotline on this caller. Welcome to the program, Nick Foles. He's a squeaky clean free agent now. What are your thoughts?
On Foles, Miami.
Miami's best spot for Nick Foles. What makes you say that, DPZ?
Because I think the Giants are going to draft Murray.
Okay.
And they have Barkley, and they have Odell Beckham. How do you cover all that speed?
I know, Giants aren't far away. I like a lot of things they're doing. I'm shocked when I hear Dave Gettleman talk today at the podium at the Combine, and Pat Shurmur. We like Eli. He's our guy. He's under contract. We fully expect him to be back. It's just kind of like, geez, maybe that is smoke and mirrors, though. If you're right on this prediction, DP, and you have the Giants, what are they, at 6 or 7? I think pick 6. They're at 6. They take Kyler Murray. Maybe they're just having smoke screens, thinking everybody that they don't want the Jags or somebody to trade up ahead of the Giants to take Kyler Murray there.
Yep, and they gave you my Cardinals Patriots trade earlier today. So
yep, you like that too. You're a big Patriots trade their first rounder this year and maybe a usable player to Arizona for Josh Rosen. Yep, and then Arizona can take their Kyler Murray, and the Patriots have a backup plan for Brady in the form of Rosen. Might work out forever. The only thing that scares me about that, DPZ, is that if I'm Arizona and I'm going to trade Josh Rosen, I need more than just the 32nd overall pick, dude. I need more.
Okay, they have 12. Throw in a couple others.
Well said. You're right. The Patriots have 12 picks in this draft. I want a first and then a couple others. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm buying this. This is buy or sell, DP. I'm buying you, man. That's a good. It's a good call. Thanks for the call, DP. Appreciate you. I can't argue with that on DP. He's right. I think those would be good moves all across the board for the Giants to get Kyler Murray. And maybe they are just lying about Eli Manning at the podium because they don't want. Look, the Giants pick 6th. The Jags pick 7th. Both those teams, I think, want a quarterback, whether it's Haskins or Murray. What those teams don't want is a team coming up, trading ahead of them with a team like the Raiders or something, and then taking a quarterback. That's what they don't want. I got text messages coming in. We're going to have a ton of fun on this program today. But I have to get to our first guest on the Farmers Insurance Hotline. His name is Matt Manocherian. He is a former NFL scout. This guy scouted for the New Orleans Saints. This guy scouted for the Cleveland Browns. Now he is a part of a company, Sports Info Solutions, that does analytical data, and they've released a book in regards to the NFL draft this year. This is going to be a fun interview. Don't miss it. Always love talking with ex-NFL scouts. Good stuff coming.
It's time now for your local weather forecast. In LeGrand tonight, windy with rain and snow showers throughout the evening, low near 21 degrees. For tomorrow, cloudy skies early with mainly sunny skies in the afternoon and a high near 35. In Baker City tonight, cloudy skies with rain showers this evening, low near 25 degrees. And for tomorrow, generally sunny conditions with a high near 35. This weather forecast is brought to you by...
Gather round, children, and I'll tell you a tale of old Grandpa's weather hip and how it never fails. I always had my coat, my hat clutched in fear, because old Grandpa's weather hip told me when bad weather was near. The pain it would flare, and Grandpa might swear that's how you knew the weather wasn't fair. Then Grandpa went down and got in quick with Mountain Valley Therapy, and they healed his hip. Now we have to listen to the radio to know how to dress, thanks to Mountain Valley Therapy. Grandpa feels at his best. If you or your grandpa has a weather hip, call Mountain Valley Therapy, and we'll get you in quick.
Next time you're headed to the Boise area, bring your appetite. Johnny Ballgame here saying, trust me when I tell you that Fat Guy's Fresh Deli in Meridian will change your sandwich-loving life. Just off I-84, the Eagle exit, on your way to Boise, Fat Guy's Fresh Deli has more sandwiches than you can count. Soups, salads, they make fresh daily. And if you mention you're from LeGrand or Baker City, owner Chef Wally will throw in your drink and soup for free. Fat Guy's Fresh Deli in Meridian, Idaho, on your way to Boise.
A time of loss is a time for families to gather together for strength and comfort.
It was a sudden loss for all of us.
Fortunately, we had each other.
You have us as well. With a range of choices and services available, we've been helping families through their time of loss for generations. Daniel's Chapel of the Valley, serving the family for generations.
Daniel's Knopp Funeral, Cremation, and Life Celebration Center on 7th Street in La Grande.
It's time now for Community Calendar Update. Every Friday morning from 9 a.m. until noon is the Free Children's Clinic in La Grande. Appointments are requested. For more information, please call 541-663-3150. The Cook Memorial Library's Literacy Center is open Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday in La Grande. From 1:30 to 5 p.m., devoted volunteers assist any individual that needs help in all areas of reading, writing, and speaking. There are opportunities to connect with reading partners, develop reading and language skills, and even help with homework for students. This is a perfect opportunity for all ages to receive free help in these literacy skills, or even for someone you care for. Stop by the Cook Memorial Library on 4th Street in La Grande for more information, or call 541-962-1339. This community calendar update is brought to you by La Grande Gold and Silver, family-owned and managed, and your trusted local experts for fine jewelry and precious metals. Shop La Grande Gold and Silver's full line of quality jewelry, gifts, and coins.
This is Damian Lillard of your Trailblazers. I believe it's on us to make sure kids have places to play. With the Motor Assist program, every Blazer assist on the court leads to better places to play in our community. Because the next assist can start a movement in a young person's health, attitude, and life.
Dame throws a pass far side McCollum, a three on the way. Ring it up!
Baker City, join the movement. Vote now at trailblazers.com/assist for your Geyser Pullman Park to receive the donation to build an all-abilities playground.
My, yes, I must admit that I have never knew love like this before, and I adore everything about you. I do mean every part of it.
Welcome back. Johnny Ballgame Show brought to you by Benchwarmers Pub and Grill. Big stinking game tonight. Blazers in Boston to take on the Celtics. This game's been bumped up to Espen, so get your butt to Benchwarmers tonight and watch the red-hot Portland Trailblazers. Like I said earlier, there's not a lot of games in the NBA regular season that are, real big-time games. Well, this is one for Portland. These two teams going in opposite directions, and you want to get a heat check on the Blazers right now? If they go into Boston and do what Toronto was able to do to Boston a couple of nights ago type of thing, they could be onto something really special here. Big win, and with the Thunder losing last night, Portland just 2 games back of that 3 seed. Let's head on over to the Farmers Insurance Hotline. This is going to be a fun one, man. First off, I'm always a geek for NFL scouts. I love talking to scouts on this program, and this gentleman was a scout for both the Cleveland Browns and the New Orleans Saints. He is now the Director of Research and Development in Football at Sports Info Solutions, a company called SIS. You're talking real smart people doing real smart things. Like, these guys could be working at like NASA and stuff. And thankfully for us, these dudes just love football, so they use their geekiness on football and analytics and whatnot. This dude went to like Columbia Law School or some stuff like that. His name is Matt Manocherian, and he's on the Farmers Insurance Hotline right now talking NFL Combine. Matt, what's going on, my man? Welcome to Oregon. Welcome to the Johnny Ballgame Show.
Hey, thanks for the introduction, and thank you for having me. I'm excited to be on.
Columbia, Duke. What was I read your resume a little bit. Holy smokes, man! What are you doing? You must love football, huh?
Yeah, it beats rocket science, right?
Hey, I love it. You went to Duke, went to Columbia. Now you're doing your thing. Now, what got you in? Let me just talk your background a little bit before I talk SIS with you. A former NFL scout. You're with the Saints and the Browns. How'd you get into that, and what got you out of that, Matt?
So I grew up in the Northeast in the New York City suburbs, and kind of always loved football. Played football growing up, but I wasn't good enough, big enough, fast enough, strong enough to play in college. Yeah. But as soon as I was done, I went back to coaching high school football. And all the while I was doing day jobs, paying the bills, trying to figure out how to get in. And I eventually got an internship with the New Orleans Saints, just kind of got in a summer thing through a friend of a friend of a friend who knew somebody, and worked my way into a job from there. I always tell the story. The thing that actually got me a job was during training camp, I figured out that the special teams coach needed somebody to film the kicker actually kicking the ball every play, just right on his foot, right on the ball. So sure enough, I grabbed the camera and I was there every day. And by the time the regular season started, he got so used to having me that they couldn't afford to get rid of me. So
was that Bobby April? Who was the special teams coach in New Orleans at that time?
That was Greg McMahon.
Greg McMahon,
so
all right.
2009 we're looking, yep.
Matt Manocherian hanging out with us. So you got out of scouting and you got on with this company, Sports Info Solutions. You guys got a killer book out that everybody listening needs to pick up, the SIS Football Rookie Handbook. Tell me a little bit how you got with the company you're currently with and I don't know, kind of the vision, the dream, the inspiration to come out with this book right now, Matty.
Yeah, so I spent 4 years with the Saints, learned a lot there. Mickey Loomis, Sean Payton, Ryan Pace, those guys.
Oh, yeah.
And then I went to the Browns for a year under Mike Lombardi, who's now doing his own radio stuff. But he really introduced me to a lot of different concepts, and I loved what we learned there. But unfortunately, his time got cut short, one of those Cleveland firestorm things. And eventually I found myself out of a job as well. So I went back to school. That's when I went back to the Columbia Sports Management Program, and it was run by a guy named Vince Gennaro, who's actually the president of SABR, the Society for American Baseball Research.
Okay.
He kind of sold me on the idea that the future people that were going to run the NFL, just like in basketball and in baseball, weren't just going to be the old school traditional scouts. They were going to be people that understood both scouting and analytics. And that is exactly what I did. I learned all I could from him. Found myself at Sports Info Solutions with the likes of Bill James and John Dewan, kind of legendary names in the old Moneyball
yes,
of
sir.
baseball.
Absolutely.
And they started up their football. And so I was lucky enough to have an opportunity. And I look at myself as a translator. And kind of as a translator, this book is a great opportunity for us as a company to tell people what we're all about. So for the 250 top prospects in the draft, you have for every player, a side-by-side. On the left side of the page, you've got your scouting report, your NFL-style scouting report based on what I've learned with the Saints and with the Browns, kind of the best practices from both of these. The Saints, with their very old-school kind of round-based scouting drafting system, and then Lombardi had the Patriots way kind of drafting system. What role is this guy going to play for our team? So we blended those together, and then you also get along with that all of the great advanced stats that we're recording at SIS. We have over 50 scouts watching every NFL and college football game at least 4 different times from 4 different perspectives, and we are recording all kinds of data points from simple things like that you're used to, yards, broken tackles, to the very blocking schemes and coverage schemes that they're running, the defensive line techniques that they're lined up in, who's blitzing, and then all of the advanced proprietary metrics that we can develop based off of that. So this is the first time this stuff's ever been released to the public, kind of out there for everybody to see, and we're really excited to get this stuff into the people's hands.
Matt Manocherian, is this a physical copy? Do I buy this online? Again, the book, the SIS Football Rookie Handbook. How do I get my hands, or shall I say eyes, on this son of a?
Yes, the SIS Football Rookie Handbook. The best way to order it is from actasports.com, ACTA-sports.com. You can log on there and get free shipping on the handbook. You can also find it on Amazon.com or at Barnes & Noble, wherever you buy your books. It's available there. We don't have a digital copy available yet, but we're anticipating that in about a month or so we should have that out.
Anybody who buys this book listening to this show and you show it to me, I'll give you a $25 gift certificate to Benchwarmers Pub and Grill. All right, listeners, get your hands on this. I really do think there's a community I've noticed in football where fans really do seek more knowledge. They want to look at the All-22 now more than they ever have. They want to talk with this. Now, Matt, I'm sure you're familiar with Exos, right? The computer program that every NFL or major college team uses to do everything basically now. Exos, are you familiar with that, Manocherian?
Exos is a partner of ours.
Okay.
We're happy to work with them, and any team that has the Exos product and is also an SIS client, they've got all the automated cut-ups they can imagine available to them, and they already know that.
All right, well, I know a guy who used to work with Exos, okay, and he was in the analytical deal, and he was installing Exos for a number of different NFL teams, and and being in the analytical community, and back then just the computer community of trying to merge watching tape from a digital level rather than actual tape or film, and it was tough getting through. It was tough kicking those doors down. I heard a story. My guy told me he was trying to teach Mike Ditka, when he was the head coach of the Saints, how to use a mouse on a computer, and Ditka couldn't do it. Ditka didn't want football and computers to mesh. He said, "This is football. We don't need these thing computers." He literally picked up the mouse and he chucked it across the room, and the thing just exploded. Like, Mike Ditka did not want to use a stinking computer. Now everybody does. The league can't survive. Like, you don't have to have a little slappy driving to the airport anymore, picking up and exchanging game tape, It's all there instantly, and I love that community. Was it hard for you kind of being an analytical guy in this thing, like a dork amongst all these, old school football guys? Did you have problems kind of trying to introduce what you guys are doing to the world of football? Is there still some Stone Age aspects to it, Matt?
Yeah, I would say that it's fair that football has been a little bit slower to adopt than some other sports, and some reasons for that are very, reasonable, for lack of a better word. Baseball is very easy to quantify on an individual matchup level, much more so than football is. But basketball, on the other hand, is really not at all. You're just dealing with 5-on-5, but it's even more of a flow sport than football is. So there's a lot of stuff. And what you notice that's different is you get a different set of owners that run these basketball teams. Kind of, they're more new agey. A lot of them come from corporate backgrounds rather than in football. A lot of these teams have been in families for a long time, and there are a lot of aspects of it that are slow to adopt. And by being really the only 32 players, and they can kind of collectively deal with these how they want to, they've kind of slowed the progress a little bit intentionally to try to keep it like that. But at the same time, while Mike Ditka was trading away an entire draft for one player, you have people like Bill Belichick hiring Ernie Adams and winning 6 Super Bowls in the next 20 years based on what they were able to build there. Ernie Adams being the Wall Street guy that Bill Belichick grew up with and famously is in the shadows for everything that the Patriots do. So I think that yes, there's a resistance, but the more time goes on and the more that people see that this stuff works, there's really 2 things. One, you can't argue with it because people want to win more than anything else.
Yeah.
And 2 is you kind of, as stuck in the mud as you want to be. We've always had tendencies in football. I never went to a football practice where we didn't talk about what the opponent was going to be running and what to expect and how we were going to handle that. All we're doing now is applying some 21st century tools to these same problems that coaches have been trying to solve since the beginning of time. This is a cerebral sport. This is a sport for geeks.
Totally. More so than any, Matt. Matt Manocherian, we're going to talk about his book here in a second. But, okay, I've seen the analytical community come into baseball. We've seen the shift. I'm a big supporter of the shift. I'm a big supporter of being able to play D however the hell I want to play D to get a guy out.
Amen.
And we've seen this going on with baseball. It's changed. 300 averages. If you're hitting 300 now, if that would have been 30 years ago, it's like 325. Honestly, like, we've seen all those dips. In basketball, the three-pointers, nobody's shooting the mid-range. You're not coming off a pick on a quick curl, shooting a jumper from the elbow anymore. It doesn't even exist. It's just threes and dunks. We've seen the analytical community come in and change basketball as we know it. Is football in the middle of that as that happened? Because I'm seeing more scoring than I've ever seen. I'm seeing more passing yards. How much do you attribute to what I'm seeing now with the NFL? It looks totally different than it did when I was watching in the mid-'80s. Is that how much does analytics have to do with what we're seeing with football right now, Matty Manocherian?
Yeah, well, it's starting to take hold, and I think you're definitely seeing that. Now, baseball, it took hold a long time ago, and we've seen it kind of already become so prevalent that it's hard to even distinguish between who's using it and who's not right now. It's something that's kind of everywhere, and that's as simple as, like you were saying, the shift. The choice, we don't have to just put these people where people have been putting them for 100 years. We can move around. Same thing basketball. 3 is 50% more than 2? Oh, wow, let's go outside that line then. I mean, this can be really effective for us.
Yeah, right.
And I mean, just in that same way, we're seeing 2 things in football. One, there are also rule changes going on, and the rule changes are very pro-scoring, pro-offense, all that kind of stuff. But the other thing is absolutely there's a real consensus in the analytics community, and there's not consensus about a lot right now, but there's definite consensus that teams aren't passing enough. That's not to say that we should only pass. It's not to say that the running game doesn't matter. People will tell you that, and I disagree with those people. But what we all seem to agree on is that we haven't hit the balance point between running and passing enough. And if you talk to anybody that studies anything like game theory, this sort of a thing, where there's a little cat and mouse game going on. Are you going to run? Are you going to pass? If I know what you're going to do, then I have an advantage. At the end of the day, in any sort of situation, whether it's chess or football or war, anything else where there's two opponents strategically trying to defeat each other, you're going to have these situations where eventually, when people are making sound decisions, everything equates out in efficiency. And we haven't reached that point in football. In football, passing plays, before you even start the play, you're expected to gain about 2 yards more than a running play. Now, there is more risk in a passing play, right? Just like the stock market.
Absolutely.
You get more reward when you take on more risk. But we haven't hit that equilibrium yet. And so I think passing is going to continue to go up. I think you're going to continue to see that. Also, other things, shotgun usage is going to continue to grow. You're going to start to see different looking quarterbacks because we're not pigeonholing ourselves into really this is an impossible position to play. It's the most difficult position in sports, and we didn't let anybody under 6 foot do it for a while. Well, it turns out Drew Brees and Russell Wilson exist. Baker Mayfield exists. So you get conversations about your Kyler Murrays of the world and stuff like that. That's the tip of the iceberg. But yeah, pass more shotgun, more play action. These are the concepts that seem to win more often than not in the modern NFL. And of course, I haven't even mentioned going for two, that sort of thing.
Are we going to see more of that? Your opinion? Your opinion? Are we going to see more going for two in the NFL? In your opinion?
It's going to continue to grow.
Yep.
It's going to continue to grow. If you think about it, especially since they moved the kickback to the 15-yard line, so you got a 33-yard field goal instead of the old 20-yard field goal, you went from something that's like a 99% chance, right? So you've got 9.99 expected points every time you kick an extra point. Now it's less than that. It's maybe a 90% proposition. You only have 0.9 expected points. Sorry if I'm getting too mathy for you.
Keep it up.
But it's pretty easy if you think about this. If you go for two, right? All you got to do is get 50% of the time to get to one expected point. And it turns out that as teams start going for two a little bit more often, we're seeing that the average is right around 50%, maybe a little bit more. This is very similar to what we saw in basketball with threes and twos. 3 is 50% more than 2. So if you're a 50% shooter from 2, that's pretty good. All you got to do is shoot 33% from 3 to get the same amount of scoring out of your offense. So it tips the scales in a direction where you can't ignore at a certain point that the three-pointer is going to be valuable if you can do it well. By the same token, if you can figure out a 2-point offense, if you can practice this and get it to be a 50% clip consistently and maybe better than that, now all of a sudden you're getting extra points. You're stealing points.
That's a world that fantasy football players want to live in too. I'm telling you, going for two more often than not. Are you kidding me? For the fantasy geeks out there, and you know how many millions of fantasy geeks we have now. Fantasy football continuing, and gambling, the legalization of that. Oh, it's going to be fun. We're on for some good things. I love this dude. Former NFL scout, and he's the current director of research and development in football at Sports Info Solutions. Look up SIS and what these guys are doing. They have a book out that I need everybody to buy. It's titled The SIS Football Rookie Handbook. This is a 600-plus page football book dedicated exclusively to the potential 2019 rookie class. I'm serious. This guy on our show right now, Matt Manocherian, says this book could revolutionize how a fan appreciates the game. Closed quote by you, Matthew Manocherian, right on this show right now. Expand on that. How the hell could this book that you guys have revolutionize how my listeners and my fans appreciate football?
Football is the sort of sport where the deeper you get with it, the better you get to know this. And you can probably tell just by my voice that football is my first love. This is something where the more you learn about it, the more you realize that the deeper you dig, the more there is that it has to give back to you and reward you here. And that's what you'll find in this book. You want to be a scout. You want to know what it's like to write scouting reports, to be in a scouting department. You want to know what these traits that we're actually looking at when we're in these meetings, when we're in the war room, what we're talking about. It's right there for you. You want the groundbreaking stuff that Sports Info Solutions doing, that NFL teams are starting to adopt. and they're finding a competitive advantage in it. If you want to be out on the forefront of that, if you want to be kind of out in front of this movement, this is the book for you. So I know that doesn't excite everybody.
Fantasy geeks? Seems to me like fantasy geeks, if they want to learn more about the game to help their fantasy team, this book wouldn't hurt them in that regard either, would it, Matt?
It's a great resource for your fantasy season. If you're trying to learn anything about the rookies coming into the league, or heck, even if it's October and you get an injury and you're scouring the waiver wire and trying to figure out, oh, I don't know this guy who's supposed to get some opportunities for some targets. Let me look up in the handbook what I should know about this prospect. I mean, this is the book for you.
I appreciate it, man. This has been fun. I love you coming on. I want to question, when you were a scout with the Cleveland Browns and you talked about kind of being there, not exactly at the right time. That was a shaky, and that's putting it lightly, organization at that time. They were, exchanging GMs from, what was it, Heckert?
You're very polite.
Yeah, Heckert to Lombardi to Farmer to the baseball guy, Sasha Brown, before they got Dorsey. Did you know, like, you're a scout, and the time you did spend in the building and the facility and talking with whatever, did you know how dysfunctional it was? I mean, I'm sure you heard it on the media and obviously all that crap. When you were actually in the building, were you looking around saying, yeah, I'm a scout for the Cleveland Browns right now, and some of these guys who are higher up than me in this business, at this company, and they're not doing this correctly. Did you sense that at all, being in a very dysfunctional Cleveland Brown position?
It's funny because you certainly heard the stories before you went in there, and I came from New Orleans, which was a great franchise. But to be honest, New Orleans, we had a great quarterback and a great head coach. Those guys are still there.
Yep.
Their greatness is undisputed, and that covered up for a lot of things that we maybe didn't do as well as we would have liked. And I think they've cleaned some of those things up over time. But those two things, the head coach and the quarterback, they covered up for a lot of ills that we had. When I got to Cleveland, Mike Lombardi was the general manager there.
Yep.
And I really felt a real simpatico with Mike in the way that he looked at football. He had a lot of experience coming up through Al Davis and Bill Belichick and Bill Walsh, and had learned from some of the brightest minds. And he thought about things in a really progressive way. And he was always trying to find the next advantage and really study the game on its deepest level. And I thought that we actually had something that was set up for success. But unfortunately, about 6 months in, it was really undercut. And it's like you said, it was a dysfunctional organization. And unfortunately, the owner made a decision that I think was a very poor decision, and then went on to kind of make that even worse by really kind of forcing upon his GM and scouting staff that ended up taking over next to, Johnny Manziel was taken in that draft directly by the owner.
Yeah.
Not by anything that we did in the scouting department or that the analytics folks did with the Browns at that time. So at a certain point, once Lombardi was fired, certainly the dysfunction was palpable. And by the time we were actually on the draft day of that year, the scouts and I are sitting in a room segmented away from everybody else who's actually drafting these players. We draft a corner named Justin Gilbert, who was actually a worse pick than Johnny Manziel.
He was.
And if we didn't even want to draft a corner, but we had said Jason Verrett was the guy for us. So there were just mistakes on mistakes.
Passed on all those receivers too, man. There were so many good receivers that year, and Cleveland kind of didn't get their hands
on Khalil Mack and Aaron Donald.
Yeah, that's a hell of a draft.
And it wasn't like we didn't know those were good players, But unfortunately, those guys, us scouts, we were off in a different room over there. Some guys landed on their feet with different teams, and they're doing great things right now. And some of us found other paths. And as much as I was bitter about it at the time, I'm really happy the way everything worked out, because it led me into my current role, pushing this book out, pushing really the dialogue along in a way that I couldn't do if I was with the team right now.
Totally,
and so
man.
I'm grateful for that, and I'm grateful to work with all the teams. And heck, if I wasn't here, I couldn't share you some of the stuff that we're sharing with the teams.
Hey,
what fun would that be?
I know a little bit about football, too. Did Michael Lombardi ever brag to you about recruiting Randall Cunningham to UNLV?
He never that specific story. Mike's a great storyteller now, though. I mean,
he recruited Cunningham to Vegas. That's a hell of a get. I mean, obviously, Hall of Fame talent. No question.
No doubt about it.
Oh, man, I could do this all day, but unfortunately I'm up against a hard break. I got bills to pay. I got commercial messages I got to get out there. I got to talk more about the stinking Portland Trailblazers. Matt Manocherian.
Hey, when I'm out in Portland, have me out there at that bar you were talking about.
Absolutely. We got to do this again. Matt Manocherian, I got your information, and can I bring you on again before the draft?
I'd love to be on again. Please, anytime.
Hell yeah. Johnny Ballgame Show, Matt Manocherian, everybody. Matt, enjoy the whole process, bro. Love it.
Thanks so much.
Buy this book. I'm telling you, the SIS Football Rookie Handbook. Amazon, look it up. Buy the stinking thing. Ballgame Show, Benchwarmers Pub and Grill.
Repair located on Buchanan Lane in Island City. Kurt and his crew have been handling and fixing your RV issues for many years and have developed a wonderful relationship with the community here in Eastern Oregon. Kurt's RV Service and Repair helps you fix any type of issue for an RV, camper, trailer, fifth wheel, and motorhome. They're the best. All work is 100% guaranteed at Kurt's. Minor repairs, major projects, it doesn't matter the issue. Have your situation handled. Go to Kurt's RV Service and Repair.
Winter doesn't stop the serious outdoorsman, and your local Ace Hardware has all the outdoor gear you need to keep going. The freeze may be on, but with Ace, it's fish on. With a full line of steelhead poles, tackle, apparel, and ice fishing gear. Shooting sports in the winter, some of the most rewarding experiences. So stock up on predator calls, ammo, and snowshoes to get you out there. Keep food warm or cool with Cordova, Calcutta, and Yeti coolers. And we now carry a serious line of gloves, hats, and clavas to keep the cold out. Only at Thatcher's Ace Hardware in Baker City and Grande Ace Hardware.
The fabulous guys are Grand Hotel with incredible food and good spirits at affordable prices. Try the new Sunset menu every day from 2 to 5. Just $12. Yeah, this is good stuff. Certified Angus steak from scratch, fettuccine Alfredo, crispy panko prawns, classic lasagna, and more. Get away for a great meal or overnight luxury. Just minutes away, but a million miles away from ordinary. For reservations, call 541-523-1889. The Geyser Grand Hotel, standing proudly on Main Street in historic Baker City since 1889.
All right, welcome back. Johnny Ballgame Show, Benchwarmers Pub and Grill. Thanks again for hanging out with us. Our game of the night tonight, no question, brought to you by LeGrand Stereo and Music. Portland Trailblazers at Boston Celtics, 5 p.m. I'm going to turn my mic off a little early, getting you to the TD Garden. This is a big regular season matchup. I want to give a shout out to the 2019 Walla Walla Guitar Festival. This thing is right around the corner. 3 days, 30 different bands, 10 different venues. Downtown Walla Walla. Tickets are going on sale right now for the Walla Walla Guitar Festival, March 8th, 9th, and 10th. Make sure you get down there. Support your local musicians. My guys, the Wasteland Kings will be playing in this sucker. That's March 8th, 9th, and 10th, the Walla Walla Guitar Festival. Until then, here's the news.
Serving Eastern Oregon for over 75 years. This is KLBM LeGrand and KBKR Baker City. Super Talk Radio, the talk of Eastern Oregon.
Special report, Cohen testifies. Former Trump attorney Michael Cohen testified before the House Oversight and Reform Committee that Trump asked him to threaten people and entities probably around 500 times in a decade. Cohen described how Trump would make suggestions on things that needed to be taken care of.
He doesn't tell you what he wants. What he does is, again, Michael, there's no Russia, there's no collusion, there's no involvement, there's no interference. I know what he means because I've been around him for so long.
And Cohen claimed Trump is becoming an autocrat who can do what he wants.
When Mr. Trump turned around early in the campaign and said, I can shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and get away with it, I want to be very clear. He's not joking. He's telling you the truth. You see, you don't know him. I do.
But Cohen said he did not know if Trump colluded with Russia, but he has his suspicions. Republicans on the committee raised credibility issues with Cohen, though, saying he's a convicted liar. I'm Barbara Cusack. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un praised President Trump at dinner, saying Trump made a courageous decision to start a dialogue. The U.S. is hoping to get Kim to agree to meaningful steps toward denuclearization. Transgender members of the Armed Services Committee appeared before the House Armed Services Subcommittee, making the case for inclusion in the U.S. military. Olivia Stellick believes that her work makes a difference.
My experience in Afghanistan has only confirmed what I already knew, that I am a more effective soldier, officer, and physical therapist having gone through transition. I belong in a combat arms unit taking care of my soldiers.
The famed West Coast highway that runs from the U.S. borders from Canada to Mexico has been closed at a spot along the Oregon coast after a landslide caused severe damage to the roadway. U.S. Highway 101 was cracked and severed at points near the southwest Oregon town of Brookings. Stocks mixed, the Dow off 73, the S&P by more than a point, and the Nasdaq up 5 points. I'm Barbara Cusack.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare contracts, and in the process started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is, this never ends. Even when you die, your family's now going to be stuck with this burden. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. I guarantee if we can't cancel your timeshare contract, you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit, 800-523-3030. That's 800-523-3030. 800-523-3030.
It's time now for your local weather forecast. In LeGrand tonight, windy with rain and snow showers throughout the evening, low near 21 degrees. For tomorrow, cloudy skies early with mainly sunny skies in the afternoon and a high near 35. In Baker City tonight, cloudy skies with rain showers this evening, low near 25 degrees. And for tomorrow, generally sunny conditions with a high near 35. This weather forecast is brought to you by
Self-Service Furniture. Get the max for your tax during the annual tax refund sale at Courtesy Home Furnishings in Baker City and Self-Service Furniture in LeGrand. Your tax refund goes a long way because they've cut prices store-wide.
President's Day. It's a flag-waving red, white, and blue national holiday, and it's more than just a day off. It's a time for great deals on your favorite Toyota models, including up to $3,000 in cashback savings, APR financing as low as 0%, or special low-payment leases. There's special savings on nearly every new Toyota. Come drive the all-new 2019 RAV4. It's a complete redesign from the ground up. Or check out the new 2019 Corolla and Corolla Hatch. Get special savings on Tundras, Tacomas, Highlanders, Camrys, and more. Plus, nearly every new Toyota now features Toyota Safety Sense, a complete suite of safety features. And they're all backed by Toyota Care, Toyota's no-cost maintenance plan for 2 years or 25,000 miles, whichever comes first. Safety, peace of mind, and great President's Day savings. The Toyota President's Day event has been extended. For full details, visit buyatoyota.com or see your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. All financing and approved credit through Toyota Financial Services. All vehicles subject to prior sale. All prices plus tax and title. Dealer doc fees vary by dealer. For more details, call 1-888-21-TOYOTA. Offers end 2/28/19.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care. I ever get back, so let's root for the home team. They don't win, it's a shame. 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
The Johnny Ballgame
Hour number 2 on a fantastic Wednesday. Again, going to get you out of here a little bit early, heading to the TD Garden right here on Super Talk Radio. Celtics, Blazers tonight. Our coverage beginning right at 5 p.m. Pacific time. You're home for Blazers basketball. Certainly a big one tonight. It's also, in case you can't listen to the radio for whatever reason, it's on a little place called ESPN. ESPN picking this game up tonight. We talked briefly about this yesterday. I shared my feelings on it. Sad situation, I think, with the Dallas Cowboys. Did everything they could to help Randy Gregory. Randy Gregory looks like flunked another marijuana test. He's suspended indefinitely, and who knows if he's ever going to get a chance to play again. Probably not. And then you hear the news, Dallas possibly having to deal with a David Irving situation similar. I wanted to bring my guy on, so I'm going to go to the Farmers Insurance Hotline and bring on Cowboy Blogger to the program right now. Cowboy Blogger, yeah, I mean, not the best news in the world, certainly with Randy Gregory, but I bet Cowboy fans weren't surprised by this, right?
No, not really. I mean, this is his 4th suspension since 2015. So I mean, what can you do? It's Josh Gordon 2.0 is kind of what it is. And yep. I feel bad for the guy, but I mean, what can you do? I mean, everything that you see, the Cowboys are saying, they're saying the right things. Do they really mean it? I don't know. But they keep saying we're behind Randy Gregory. We've got support. Hopefully he'll come back and play for us. My question is why? I'm sorry. I mean, I personally have never dealt with it. I mean, I have in a sense, and I won't get into that. Not what I've done personally, but friends and family that have been in a situation where the addiction is there. And so in a sense, I do feel bad for Randy Gregory, but there's a point where you've got to move on. And yes, the Cowboys' strength is the defense. Gregory is an amazing talent. You know, he was second on the team with 6 sacks last year, so it's not like he doesn't have the talent, but can you continue to pay money to somebody that constantly gets suspended? I mean, the Cowboys lead the league in the last 5 years in games missed by players due to suspension, and they just can't keep taking these chances. So,
well said.
I think it's time to move on.
All right, what are the Cowboy fan base, the folks that you deal with, the people that you blog to, the general Cowboy fan? Is it fairly one-sided on this, where Cowboy fans have had enough of Randy Gregory? What's the split right now for people saying, hey, he needs help, this is an issue, let's help him, versus the people saying, you know what, let's just nip this in the bud and let's move the heck on?
You know, it's funny. It's more people saying let's move on from Irving, even though Irving may have more talent than Gregory, because Irving is kind of a me-first type guy. You don't hear a lot from Gregory. If you've noticed that, he's not out there and saying, do this for me and pay me. And Irving's kind of that type of guy. So that's what the Cowboys fans are saying. Get rid of Irving more so than Gregory and help Gregory more because, I mean, the kid flat out since his days in Nebraska, the only thing he's really said is, yes, I'm addicted to marijuana.
Yep.
And, but a lot of people are saying, look, this is not a performance-enhancing drug. This isn't something that is making him play better on the field. And, some people are saying stick with it because it's legal in some states as well. So if it were such a bad addictive, because it is a different thing than what Josh Gordon, because Josh Gordon, it's well known that he's abusing more than marijuana. And so it's really, you can't really tie the two together. But, I'm in the camp where we've got to let him go because there are some exciting pass rushers that are available in this year's draft that we can get in the 3rd and 4th round. It's a deep, deep pass rushing draft this year. So we'll see how it plays out.
Cowboy blogger on the Farmers Insurance Hotline. The Cowboys, surprisingly, they have a lot of money to spend. They rank 10th in available cap space. Now, I know a good portion of that, they hope, will go to keep Tank Lawrence. Is that priority 0 at the Star right now with the Joneses and Big D? I mean, is keeping DeMarcus Lawrence number 1, number 0? Is that the first thing that you have to do, in your opinion, for the Cowboys?
I'm torn, Johnny. Yes, I'd like to keep DeMarcus Lawrence, but he is available for another year of being on the franchise tag. So there is that option right there. I mean, Dak Prescott, as much as I've lauded him for doing and being the right thing, he comes out with those stupid comments about Tom Brady and his wife, and she's kind of the cash cow in the family, so he doesn't have to worry about $25 million contract, which kind of makes me think Dak is thinking about himself and not the team, when I've been saying all along, I think he's going to be the opposite. So they may have to tie down Dak Prescott with a long-term deal in the $22 to $25 million range, and that's scary. So I think Tank Lawrence is the number one option. Of course, Ezekiel Elliott's kind of lurking, behind the weeds saying, where's my money, because he's going to expect Todd Gurley money, and that's going to have to happen either this year or next year. And then there's always Amari Cooper. What are we going to do with him? So, yes, they have a lot of money, but then now look where it's turned. It's going to turn right back into the same situation because they have all these players that they're going to have to keep that they can't let go. And so they're going to be in a bad cap situation come 2021 because of what they have to do right now. So Tank is number 1, but again, the franchise tag is there. And a lot's going to have to do with what are they going to get Earl Thomas? And that's going to say a lot to what they're going to do with their priorities. If they do get him, I could see him letting some of these guys go.
Cowboy blogger, do most Cowboy fans that you interact with, do they want Earl? Like, is it a major priority to bring Earl Thomas home, so to speak, to the Cowboys? Do they really want this?
Yes.
Okay.
And I do too. I think to have, as young as that defense is and as much as they flew around the ball and were a top 5 defense last year, they are very young, and there's a strong possibility they're going to lose Sean Lee, and I think he is going to be a cap casualty. And there's not going to be that veteran presence on that defense to lead that young team. And I think Earl Thomas coming home to Texas, he said that 2 years ago, bring me to Dallas.
Yeah.
He mouthed that. That was that famous thing on Monday Night Football.
Come get me.
When he said, to Jerry Jones, bring me to Dallas. And, he wants to play there. And I think, man, can you imagine having that guy, even though he's had some injury issues the past couple of years, if he could rejuvenate himself in Dallas and what that would do for that team. So, yes, the fans, myself, everybody, I think that's somebody they need to go and get.
I would think Dallas would be a good spot for a quarterback. You bring in John Kitna to coach the position. He's a 15-year vet. Kellen Moore, everybody says, is a rising star in the quarterback coaching community. And hell, Jason Garrett hung around in the league for 10 to 15 years, comes from a quarterback family as well. You would think that's a great spot for a young quarterback to go and learn how to play. In your opinion, does Dallas take a quarterback in this draft? If so, Cowboy Blogger, give me a round, give me a ballpark, give me a neighborhood where the Cowboys go quarterback shopping.
I don't think they get him one in the draft this year. This is a very weak quarterback class in the draft this year, so I don't think to go out and get a project when they've already got Cooper Rush that's kind of sitting there, lurking, not for a starting spot, but as a good project. I think what they're going to do is kind of go the route that they've done in the past years and go get an aging veteran quarterback like a Brad Johnson, like a Kitna when he was there, like a Drew Bledsoe way back in the day, if you want to go back that far.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, I think, the route that they're going to have to go with, somebody that can help along with Kellen Moore, because Kellen Moore doesn't have any experience as a coordinator. And yes, he is kind of the second coming according to everybody, and we'll find that out. But Kitna's got that presence, played in the NFL for a lot of years.
Yeah.
So if they just get another veteran to get in there to kind of be in Dak's head, I think that would be the perfect setup for it. Because how much can you really rely on Kellen Moore to be that presence? He may know the NFL and the offenses and whatnot, but look how young he is, and does he really have that, listen to me presence that you expect from a coach or a coordinator?
It's going to be weird.
Where
players
are going to listen to him.
Kellen's a great guy. I know him. I'm not friends with him, but I'm acquaintances with him, and I could never see Kellen getting after somebody, chewing him out. Like, that might be a little interesting if you have some, if Dak talks back to him or something on the sideline to see how Kellen handles that. I don't know. It'll be interesting. All in all, though, yeah.
The thing is what is probably going to happen is Jason Garrett's still going to call the plays, and so Kellen's going to be the pseudo offensive corner. He's probably not going to be in the field. He's going to actually be up in the booth, up above the field, and he's going to, kind of talk with Garrett. But Garrett is ultimately going to be the one that's going to call the plays this first year.
A couple of those old quarterbacks that you referenced, the Brad Johnsons, the Drew Bledsoes, the John Kitnas. I got a couple others for you. How about Steve Berline and Wade Wilson? A couple other vets.
Yeah, and Wade Wilson, rest in peace. Yeah, he was definitely a present there in Dallas. So that's kind of what they've done throughout the years. So
yeah, they kind of get that aging guy.
Maybe do they go get a Case Keenum out there? That's a possibility now that Flacco is going to be the starter most likely in Denver. So Keenum's going to probably be available at a good price.
This is good. Hey, all in all, before I get you out of here, just the state of the Cowboys right now, entering the new league year, which kicks off here in a week or so. You got the Combine this weekend, then, of course, the draft, and then mini camps, and then, training camp coming. What's the state of the Cowboys right now? In a pretty good position, in your opinion?
They are in a good position. I mean, again, the defense is their strength. I do think in the draft what they need to focus on is shoring up the offensive line, because there's still no guarantee Frederick's going to come back at center. There were some injuries with Martin and obviously Tyron Smith on the end there. So they've got to shore that up. So that's where I would like them to go. There's talk that they're going to get a tight end in the first round. But overall, they are looking really good. But you got to remember, being a first-place team in the NFC East, they're going to play a first-place schedule. And so that might hurt them because they weren't a strong first-place team. But, you know, they've really done – Stephen Jones has actually done a pretty good job
Yes, he has.
in the draft.
Yes, he has.
And so they're set. The problem is, did they expect this many stars that they're going to have to pay? So that's my biggest fear. Are they going to be in a cap situation once again here in a couple years, or are they going to be able to, you know, get this team to get some team-friendly deals signed with some incentives so that they don't continually not be able to go out and get the free agents that they need to make them a Super Bowl team?
Is Johnny Manziel ever going to play football again? Released by the Montreal Alouettes today? Is it over? I mean, should we even care?
I could see him going to the XFL, actually, when that starts up next year. I think that's somebody that they would want to get out there, you know, because, again, they're trying to brand themselves as not what they were when the XFL first came out, you know, 2 decades ago. But, you know, so it's not going to be a felony league per se.
The one thing I think
he'd be a perfect star power for that.
I almost want to say that they have a rule in that XFL that if you've been arrested or something, which he has, you're ineligible. I don't know. Maybe the Alliance of American Football gives him a call. That league going on right now. I don't know, but Cowboy Blogger, enjoy this part of the season. There is no off season. Enjoy the Combine this weekend, and always look forward to your next Cowboy blog. Good stuff, my man.
Quick question for you, Johnny. I just need to know if you're still bitter, because I know your listeners know this. You did not call me after the Cowboys and have me on the air after the Cowboys beat the Seahawks in the playoffs. I'm just wondering how you're still feeling about that.
I'm still a little upset. I thought that game was there, but you know what?
It hurt. It hurt that you didn't call me.
I didn't want to revisit. I saw what happened. I didn't need the analysis. I knew you guys would lose the next week, and you did, and it's great. You know, you had a fun year.
Yeah, well, we still beat you, so that's all that matters. So. All right, Johnny, say hi to your listeners, and thanks for having me on.
Always, man. Good stuff, bro.
All right.
Later. And he's right. I didn't want him on the show the next week after the Cowboys beat the Seahawks. I didn't want to talk about it, so I didn't invite him on. And I told him previously, hey, win or lose, I'll bring you on. And I didn't bring him on. I didn't want to talk to him, man. We got tons of emails and text messages coming in. Remember, Kurt's RV, Service and Repair, Felinda Loop in Island City. Look, this snow eventually, I promise you, it's going to go away, okay? And you're going to want to go camping. You're going to want to get your rig out. You're going to want to get the motorhome, the RV, those campers, those fifth wheels. Well, take them to Kurt's RV Service and Repair before that big next trip. Ballgame Show, Benchwarmers Pub and Grill. The bracket challenge is coming. What are we having? Selection Sunday, like 2.5 weeks from now? Is that what we're on right now? Well, you know what? Sports Illustrated is doing something with the bracket challenge, and it's stupid. Stupid. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. And Ronald Bond, local sports editor for the LeGrand Observer, will be in studio today. That's about 4:40 on the Pacific Time p.m. Getting you ready for Blazers Celtics tonight right here at 5 p.m. And by the way, would somebody please tell Caleb that buy or sell is on Monday? Caleb's sending me these buy or sells. Caleb, dude, you listen to this show every day. We don't play buy or sell on Wednesdays. King Caleb, everybody. Yeah. No wonder everybody wants to kick your ass.
Simplicity and savings. It's what you can expect with Legacy Ford X-Plan. We respect your time, no games, and no haggling. Savings. X-Plan pricing that applies to all new Ford vehicles, plus the rebates you deserve on top of the very best price. X-Plan is for you. And now's the time to buy Ford, America's best-selling brand, with simple, direct savings. Exclusively with X-Plan for everyone at Legacy Ford. Visit legacyford.net. Home of the $20 gas oil change.
The one-day sale is back at D&B Supply this Saturday. Chock full of great deals on all the gear you need to work and play in the West. Outfit your entire family when you take 20% off all clothing, footwear, and accessories. Plus, save 10% on everything else, from pet food to grilling equipment to power tools and more. Some exclusions apply, of course. Save all day at the one-day sale. This Saturday at your favorite D&B Supply.
It's time for Mountain Valley Fitness and Health's newest challenge.
The Iron Sharpens Iron Slim and Stick Special Buddy Edition Challenge. Team up with your pal and get fit.
For $60, you get 1 training session per week, 2 lifestyle coaching sessions, and a guided workout plan.
The winners get a chance at a cash prize. Sign up now and toughen yourself up with your buddies, because only iron can sharpen iron.
Call 541-663-0462 or come see us at Mountain Valley on Cove Avenue in LeGrand.
I'm here at the year's hottest stag pool party.
Put your antlers up!
Where? Some poor guy's backyard. These stags are bringing down the house. Seriously, deer are ripping holes in the pool cover. They're trampling patio furniture. And all the damage was covered, thanks to Farmers Insurance. Stag Pool Party, October 27th, 2014. Talk to a farmer's agent. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
See your local Farmers Insurance agent, Greg Blackman, in LeGrand.
You've tried it all. Opening the windows, cranking up the music, maybe even slapping your own face.
Come on, Doug, stay awake.
But it doesn't work. You're tired, you're behind the wheel, and you're dangerous. Wake up. Every year, drowsy drivers are responsible for thousands of crashes. So if you're yawning, veering out of your lane, or having trouble focusing, don't power through. Pull over and rest or take a quick walk. Drive alert. It's the way to go. A message from ODOT.
All right, Ballgame Show, Bench Warmers, Pub and Grill. I'll touch more on the Johnny Manziel situation tomorrow. I'll just say this right now before we move on. If the Alliance of American Football pursued Johnny Manziel, okay, and signed him to one of those teams, and call me an idiot or whatever, fine, I would watch that game. If I knew Johnny Manziel was starting a quarterback instead of, I don't know, Christian Hackenberg or Matt Sims or that Woodside guy, some of these quarterbacks who are starting in the Alliance, I'm watching some of these games. I'm not glued, but it's on. I pay attention. So I'm following it a little bit. If Johnny Manziel was one of those quarterbacks, I would watch. And I think I'm not the only one. I think there's others that say, yeah, I would probably watch too. If I knew Manziel was running around there, I'd tune in. And I don't know what he did or didn't do in Canada, but they basically deported his ass. Like, dude, we don't want you in this league. You can't, basically the commissioner of the Canadian League said, you're out of Montreal and you're ineligible to sign with any other Canadian League team. Like, dude, just get off of America's hat. Go south, young fella. We don't want you in America's hat anymore. That's what's crazy. They deported him. What the hell did he do, man? They deported him. You know how hard it is to get kicked out of Canada? You know how laid back Canada is? That's tough to get kicked out of Canada, man. And Johnny Manziel got kicked out of Canada. Let me talk to you about something that is coming on this March, okay? Now, we always do on this show a bracket challenge for this time of year, and it's brought to you by Eastern Oregon Pepsi, the Pepsi bottling company of Eastern Oregon, I should say, the Pepsi Bracket Challenge. And I'm sorry, but if you miss on a pick, yeah, your pick's done. Sorry, dude, it's over. Well, this is such a lame deal I read today. I had to crush it on my show. And I read this on SportsIllustrated.com, okay? They have a bracket this year. Sports Illustrated does. And it's called a real-time bracket challenge, okay? The Sports Illustrated Bracket Challenge lets you make real-time picks as the madness progresses, okay? You know, last year, Virginia losing to Maryland, Baltimore County, a 1 versus a 16. Yes, that screwed up everybody's bracket. But in Sports Illustrated's bracket challenge, They're allowing you to switch your pick during the game. Now, if this isn't the everybody gets a trophy culture, then I don't know what is. I had UVA. My bracket's busted. I don't even care anymore. Shut up. It happens to everybody. Not a 1 winning or a 16 winning or a 1 losing, I should say. No, but dude, brackets get squashed. This is why a lot of you yahoos fill out 20 of them. Because you know some of your brackets will be busted on the opening weekend. Dude, most of them will. So I'm going to get some schmohawk showing up saying, hey, Ballgame, I have 16 of the Sweet 16 teams left. I haven't missed a pick. I'm on the Sports Illustrated Challenge, and I can change my pick in the game. Let me punch you in the face, dude. Stop. No, you fill out your bracket, and it's set. It's done. You're gonna miss some picks, dude. You're gonna miss a lot of picks. And yeah, chances are you will have a Final Four team that you picked that will lose in the first or second round. It happens. Brackets get busted. Like, are we really doing this now, Sports Illustrated? Like, is there a market for this, Sports Illustrated? Like, are you having these yahoos say, well, I don't want to play in the bracket challenge because, I had Virginia last year going to the Elite Eight, and they lost their first game, so I wasn't able to win my bracket. Like, you get that? And you want to let people, why would you brag if you change your pick during the game? That's the dumbest, lamest thing ever. Your bracket is your bracket, dude. You fill it out before the tournament starts, and you see what it lines up as. Some games you hit, some you miss. That's why they call it March Madness, man. You don't know what's going to happen. In Sports Illustrated, man, maybe you really have went to the crapper. Maybe this is why no one's buying your stupid magazine anymore. Except me. I still subscribe to Sports Illustrated. Slap me sideways. I barely even read the darn things. They just sit there in my bathroom until they're too old. I'm like, oh, this is 2 months old. No, I don't even care anymore. It's tough for a magazine to compete in this world. It really is, especially a weekly magazine like a Sports Illustrated. Because there was a time in our country where Sports Illustrated was the internet. Sports Illustrated was ESPN.com. I used to love getting off the school bus, knowing what day it would be, Thursday or Friday, whenever my magazine would come, and I would know that in the mailbox that day, I'm like 12, 13 at the time, I would know, oh, sweet, it's this day. That means Sports Illustrated is chilling in there in my mailbox. I want to see who's on the cover. I want to read the articles, faces in the crowd, the young kids who are doing stuff. I knew a guy who was in Sports Illustrated once in the faces in the crowd section. Like, that was Sports Illustrated. You were the king. And now Sports Illustrated, hey, we have a bracket challenge that you can change the pick during the game. You can go back. You can have a do-over. Oh. Dude, you're going to miss some picks. If you're really that worried about it, then be like a lot of all those other McGillicuddies. They fill out 20 brackets. And 2 of them end up doing well, and they will brag to you about the 2 brackets that they're spot on with, and the 18 brackets that are shredded. They won't even mention that. I mean, to me, it's just, where have you gone, Joe DiMaggio? No, where have you gone, Sports Illustrated? Changing the picks mid-game? My gosh, that's lame, dude. Farmers Insurance Hotline, welcome to the program. My next caller, what do you have for us today, caller?
Hey, Johnny Ballgame, this is Too Hottie, man.
Hey, Two Hotties. What's going on? I haven't heard from you in a couple of weeks. Bring it.
Yeah, man, I've been hanging out in the snow that we have in this wonderful Union County area right now.
Hey, you work outside, don't you, Two Hotties?
Yeah, I do all the time, man. But what I'm trying to get at you, because I'm sitting in my pickup listening to the radio, is I totally agree with you 100% on Sports Illustrated. You know, at our time when we were growing up, ruling the roost. You know what I mean?
Is it? Yep.
I mean, I totally agree with you in all aspects of that. My other thing is I want to talk to you about is we're obviously getting close to March Madness, and that's what you've been talking about. I do want to let you know I got UNC, University of North Carolina, at the minimum,
okay,
to the Final Four. Okay, Roy Williams has got something going on good there, and with this whole Zion sneaker issue that they got going on, and him taking a tap out, really.
Yeah.
I think UNC is gonna exploit that, in my opinion. And then the other thing I wanted to tell you is the Johnny Manziel show operation that's going on in Canada, getting kicked out of Canada.
Yeah.
As a former football player that was aspiring to go to the NFL, playing in Arena League and all those kind of other different leagues that they have, that you may think that you have a shot at going and doing something better. I am just totally disturbed by this guy named Johnny Manziel. And I was a fan when he was in college. I was a fan when he was with the Browns. And I am totally not a fan now for him not understanding his opportunities that have been given to him on second. And now, well, if he goes to the AAF, a third chance, man.
I know, right?
I can't do it no more. He has not figured it out, Johnny.
So you would you be very disappointed in the AAF if they brought him in? Would that take you away from the alliance? Would you not want to watch more if Johnny Manziel, say, goes to the San Diego team or something, or the San Antonio
With
team?
that being said, with that question you just asked me, Johnny, that would be a double-edged sword, because I think Johnny Manziel has a specific charisma to his game. I really do. But his problem is he hasn't been able to figure out the off-the-field actions and what he does off the field and how they contribute to the things that he does on the field, Johnny. Do you see what I'm saying there?
Yeah. It just, I want to know what the hell he did up in Canada, because I haven't heard a peep out of this guy all year. Then all of a sudden we all hear today he's been basically kicked out of the league. He's been kicked off that team, and the commissioner said he's not welcome to sign with any other CFL team. They just want him the hell out of there.
Not another CFL team. I mean, that's basically like getting kicked off the Browns, and you cannot ever sign with another NFL team. I mean, they didn't say that he couldn't sign with an NFL team again.
No,
but they were like, hey, you're done. You're out of the Browns, and whatever he did up in Canada is what he did up in Canada. But here's the thing. He was born with a golden spoon in his mouth, man.
Yeah,
and he doesn't think rules apply to him.
Yeah, he was.
I'm telling you right now, Johnny, all the people that I ever played ball with, I mean, it doesn't matter if we're playing at Eastern Oregon University, playing for the Mountaineers, or if we're playing in Casper, Wyoming for the Wyoming Cavalry, or the Billings Outlaws, or if we're playing in Tri-Cities for the Tri-Cities Fever.
Hey, yeah, you played for those teams, right? You're a former Arena League player.
Yes. If you had an opportunity to even get a chance, one chance, Johnny, to go to an NFL tryout or whatever the case may be, if you got a chance to go to camp, I mean, I dealt with a lot of guys that got a chance and got offered to go to a camp. Man, you have got to be able to just put your own selfishness aside and, yes, this is what I will do. Okay, this is what I got to do. This is what I got to do to get a chance to live out my dream, if it's on the football field or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean,
Sure.
Johnny?
Hey, let me ask you this real quick.
This guy can't get it figured out.
What's the most money you ever made playing in one of those rinky-dink arena leagues that you played in?
Oh, well, when I was established.
I mean, do they pay anything? I mean, seriously, like, what were you making, dude?
When I was established as a sack leader in the league, you know what I mean?
Okay, you led that weird arena league in sacks. Okay. What was what type of, okay, well, I mean, were you, what was your game check like? What did it look like?
Oh, it was chump change compared to what you'd make if you were playing in the NFL,
Of course. I just want to know, like, is it $50, $100? Like, what were you playing for, T-Body?
No, man. I got paid a base salary of $585, and then incentives on top of that, man.
So you got $585 game check before taxes, plus you had incentives. You get a sack, you get a turnover, and you could get bonus money there. Okay, interesting, man.
Yep. Correct.
You still have your jerseys?
Yeah, I got jerseys. Yeah.
You got Arena League jerseys? Those are probably pretty cool looking. Bring one by the studio sometime, okay, Too Hottie? I want to see them.
Hey, I'll tell you what right now, man. I will definitely bring you by at least one of my jerseys within the next 2 weeks.
I appreciate you. Yeah, absolutely, my man. Hey, stay warm. I appreciate you tuning into the show. Thanks for calling in.
All right, kids will be on the flip side, man.
Absolutely. Good stuff there. 541-963-4122 on the Farmers Insurance Hotline. We're going to get local here. Brought to you by Blue Mountain Auto Parts with Ronald Bond, your Grande Observer sports editor. The EOU women's basketball team now knows where and who they will play in the first round of the national tournament coming up next week. So Bond's all over that story. He was with the team, got a video of it, and we're going to talk to him about all that good stuff. Before we get to Ronald Bond, I want to shout out my boys and everybody I know over there at Blue Mountain Community College, BMCC. I'm telling you, just over the hill to Pendleton. Go to bmcctimberwolves.com. Find scores, schedules, rosters, all the info to keep tabs on some of your favorite teams out there. Men's and women's basketball, baseball, softball, men's soccer, women's soccer. Heck, they even have a rodeo team there. And if you're looking to go back to classes, maybe some night school, maybe some other classes you want to take, go to Blue Mountain Community College. Again, bmcctimberwolves.com. I got some good friends over there, and that's not far away, and they got some good things going on. That's a wood bat league. The NWAC, their baseball team, their baseball league, they play with wooden bats. There's just something about hearing the crack of the bat rather than the ping of the aluminum, you know? Anyway, Ronald Bond coming up. Don't miss him.
It's time now for your local weather forecast. In LeGrand tonight, windy with rain and snow showers throughout the evening, low near 21 degrees. For tomorrow, cloudy skies early with mainly sunny skies in the afternoon and a high near 35. In Baker City tonight, cloudy skies with rain showers this evening, low near 25 degrees. And for tomorrow, generally sunny conditions with a high near 35. This weather forecast is brought to you by
Grand Ronde Hospital. For information on who we are and all we do for the community, please explore our website at grh.org.
Grand Ronde Hospital, big city medicine with a hometown touch.
The one-day sale is back at D&B Supply this Saturday. Chock full of great deals on all the gear you need to work and play in the West. Outfit your entire family when you take 20% off all clothing, footwear, and accessories. Plus, save 10% on everything else, from pet food to grilling equipment to power tools and more. Some exclusions apply, of course. Save all day at the one-day sale this Saturday at your favorite D&B Supply.
Grumpy's Repair is located on H Avenue just off I-84 in Baker City. And it's not just the location which makes Grumpy's convenient. Your car is an investment and deserves the tender, loving care Grumpy's can provide. Grumpy's uses fully up-to-date diagnostic test equipment for all vehicles to locate problems fast, which is convenient for you. Grumpy's only uses highly trained, certified professionals that will guarantee your car will perform at peak performance. Now that's convenient. Just off I-84 in Baker City. Grumpy's Repair.
Don't miss A Night Under the Stars, the Grand Ronde Hospital Foundation's gala, brought to you by the Foundation and U.S. Bank. Including a 5-star meal prepared by Merlin Baker and entertainment by Star Search winner ventriloquist Taylor Mason. Enjoy this evening you will remember for a lifetime with great food and entertainment on March 2nd at 6 p.m. Get tickets now before they are gone at grh.org/gala. That's grh.org/gala.
I'm online every day, so it just makes sense to do my banking online too. I can check my balances, transfer funds, and even pay bills all from my laptop. It's so easy. I don't even have to leave home.
Old West Federal Credit Union, a better way to bank. Federally insured by NCUA. Online at oldwestfcu.org.
Hey sports fans, this is Ronald Bond, sports editor at the Grande Observer, reminding you to tune in every Wednesday at 5:35 p.m. It's the local sports report on the Johnny Ballgame Show with Observer sports editor Ronald Bond. We dig into EOU and high school sports, football, basketball, baseball, wrestling, track. You name it, we cover it. Wednesdays, 5:35 p.m. on the Johnny Ballgame Show. You don't want to miss it.
Song is Sandlot.
Totally.
Yeah. I don't know what else. Yeah, I don't know what else. Squints and Wendy Peppercorn.
Peppercorn. Well, she was a prized piece. I'll tell you that, man. Wendy Peppercorn. Oh, smoking. Yeah, very, very attractive lady, Bond. All right, man. Welcome to the studio, everybody. Ronald Bond, you're a local sports editor for the Grande Observer. They got a heck of a sports section there. So subscribe, pick up a copy, go to legrandeobserver.com to read all the wonderful information that this dude's putting out each and every day online and through, when are you guys? Monday, Wednesday, Friday? Is that when you're coming out?
Correct.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, pick up a paper. Okay, we'll start Monday night, EOU. At home, maybe the best atmosphere I've ever seen at Quinn Coliseum in my life. Maya Ayu Diaz takes the game over as she should, fitting for the best female basketball player ever in this school's history to have the night she had on the final time she's playing on that court. They won another conference championship. That's now 3 in a row. Bondi, fill in the blanks, man.
How cool was that too? Did you stayed for the whole game? I know you were there. Did you stayed for the whole game?
I was up in the sky, my sky box there, my luxury suite.
That was pretty cool for when she makes that free throw and comes off to get serenaded some MVP chants. That
you know
was
how
pretty
she
cool.
got that? You know how she got that?
Yeah.
That was me.
No, that was all you, huh?
That was me.
That was all you.
Honestly, I went to Ian Dexter, the SID, at halftime. And I told Dex, man, I said, dude, go to the student section. Every time Maya gets to the free throw line, have them chant MVP like they do in the NBA. But the students didn't want to do it because they thought it was distracting her.
Yeah,
okay?
Ian told me. He didn't tell me that it came from you.
It came from me. Ian, come on, Dexter, if you're listening. That was me.
He told me that he had been telling the student section to get that going. And then but regardless of if it, who it came from, I mean, definitely a moment that
MVP. That was awesome.
Definitely a moment she deserved. I mean, later named the CCC Player of the Year, which was going to be a surprise to absolutely nobody. Yeah, 2 in a row. Angie, Coach of the Year for the 1900th time. The crowd. I was talking to a couple people. There needs to be a way to channel that kind of atmosphere for every single game at Quinn. I don't care. Yes, I get Root was there. I get conference title game. But if Eastern could find a way to channel that for every game and not just the conference title games or, when Southern comes around. I mean, I was there early Monday night, and the crowd 30 minutes before tip-off was actually at a level I've seen it at some during some games during the
crazy,
season. There was in that there were already more people there 30 minutes before tip-off than at some other games. So
Carlito was on the show yesterday, and he's like, that gave me a vision for what I want to build here. We need that crowd for men's games. We got to earn it. And Carlito was saying that, but we're going to strive for that. We want that type of atmosphere for as many home games as we can have. You're hitting the nail on the head on that, Bondi.
Yeah.
If they could somehow channel and get that atmosphere back, not just once a year.
Or twice a year, like when Southern shows up.
That was a legit college basketball atmosphere.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was probably standing room. I
was up in the skybox. I was in my luxury suite, whining and dining with laid back country folk and whatnot, and even from my sky suite in the glitz and glamour of the. I'm going to name that place up there the Johnny Ballgame Center.
I think you need to give the school about $1 million before that happens.
I should do the show from up there during a game. Anyway,
that would be cool.
Yeah, it was a great atmosphere. Congrats to
game.
EOU.
They played really well in the first half. Their defense, their rotations on defense were excellent. They took I believe 7 or 8 charges in that game, which you don't see very often. But they were in position, taking charges, held a stellar player in Jordan Woodvine to 7 points for Corbin. So the defense.
What
was
number
on
was
point.
Woodvine?
32, I believe.
Yeah, okay, yep.
Yeah, I mean, she comes in averaging about 19.
They held her in check.
Her last 2 games against Eastern, she scored 4 and 7.
Oh, good
so
for them.
they've locked her down the last couple of times. Defense was great. Shooting was great. You mentioned Maya. Marin Herod, another senior, had a big second half. So, and as you were saying, now they know who they're going to be playing in Natty's next week.
Well, let's get this thing going. Breaking news coming into Super Talk Radio by way of Ronald Bond and the Grande Observer, folks. What's next for the EOU women's team, Bondi boy?
So they earned a 3rd seed in the Naismith bracket of the women's tournament, and they will play at 7:15 Pacific time, 9:15 over there in Indiana, Wednesday night against the St. Francis Cougars out of Indiana. Why did I say the game's in Indiana? The game's in Iowa. Excuse me. I haven't had much time yet to dig into who St. Francis is. All I know is they're 20-12. They're the 6th seed in that
They're
bracket.
playing a team that's got 12 losses.
Yeah,
that's encouraging.
So I mean, they got a favorable draw as far as who their first opponent is. Like I said, haven't had a chance to dig into who they are just yet. I do know a lot of those Midwest teams tend to be stout. I mean, it was a Midwest team in northwestern Iowa that knocked them out a year ago. So a very that's going to be a good start for them, and they got a couple of favorable draws, I feel, in the bracket. Not only at least on paper, what looks like an opponent they should match up well against. They also their setup, they'll play Wednesday night, and then if they win that, they have an off day Thursday, and then don't have to play again until Friday. Where some teams could potentially have to make a Thursday, Friday, Saturday turnaround. So they've got the schedule that lays out, so they have a break before they would play their round of 16 game conceivably on Friday. The major challenge in their bracket, if they get to the final 8 and they spring an upset on the 2, they would play the number 1 overall seed in the final 8, Concordia, Nebraska, the number 1 seed and the number 1 team in the nation, who's 30-3. So I mean, you have to
stay away from them.
No, they would stay away from them until the Elite 8.
Have you seen how my boy Tim Hayes and Southeastern are doing down there in Florida?
They also snagged a 1 seed opposite of. I don't remember which bracket, but yeah, they were opposite of EOU, I believe.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't remember if they were in the bottom half of that or if they were on the complete opposite end. It's all on. It is all on NAIA.com.
Where do we go?
NAIA.org. We'll have the updated bracket. So for Eastern, Wednesday, 7:15 p.m. against St. Francis, Indiana.
Wednesday, 7:15 p.m. That game will be streaming at Benchwarmers Pub and Grizzle. So make sure if you want to watch EOU women in the national tournament at 7:15, go to Benchwarmers. Let me just tell you this. Every year, though, they say the 7:15 tip-off, it'll be like 7:47, Bondi. You know,
probably will be.
Because they play on the same court, so if one game goes too long, it just backs the whole thing up. So
they do set those up, I think, for that possibility on like an hour 45 turnaround. So, okay. I mean, that's pretty generous. And I haven't looked to see like what's scheduled before them. If maybe there's a break in between like an afternoon session and their session, so there might be a chance that it breaks a little better for them schedule wise. And the CCC did get 3 teams in.
Who else got in?
So Corbin obviously is the runner-up in the conference tournament, got in. And then OIT actually snagged one of the last at-large bids.
Okay.
In fact, it was kind of funny. I was up watching the bracket release with the basketball team. There was actually more.
You were in the team meeting room, right? They were up
in the mezzanine above Quinn Coliseum watching that, but in your Johnny Ballgame room.
They were up in the Ballgame Center?
Yeah,
okay.
They were watching it up there. But there was actually because OIT didn't have an automatic, there was actually more excitement amongst the EOU team for them getting probably the last at-large bid in the tournament than Eastern, because Eastern knew they were in.
So Eastern was excited when OIT got in.
Yeah, because at that point, you're wanting to see your conference do well. So.
Man, that's good for them. Good for those girls there being excited for other teams in their conference, especially a team like OIT that beat them.
Mm-hmm.
That's their only loss.
That's their only loss in the conference.
Did you hear about the men's CCC?
I have not. I'm to be honest, I don't know if that was released later today or if that's released tomorrow. I'm not entirely sure on that. I would imagine though that College of Idaho as the conference champion, regular tournament champion, is probably going to be a 1 seed going into the national tournament. OIT, I would guess a 2 or a 3. So, yeah, that's about all I've got as far as that. I mean, Eastern is not going to be making it.
Of course not.
They're not going to take a 15-15. So season's over with them. So once they're out, I kind of tuned out the rest of the men's side on the
As
CCC,
you probably do.
so.
This year, you got a lot on your plate. We'll get to that. We come back. That's your local sports report with Observer Sports editor Ronald Bond, brought to you by Blue Mountain Auto Parts. Hey, it's your local Napa Auto Parts dealer. Go see Monty Reed and the crew down there. Been doing business with them a long time. A lot of folks have. And when you want the auto part, when you want a question answered, absolutely a matter of fact answered, you're going to go to Blue Mountain Auto Parts every time and see Monty and the crew at your local Napa Auto Parts dealer, Blue Mountain Auto Parts. Give us a quick one. We're coming back. I got Bond still hanging out. We're going to get you your Ace Hardware finale and then get you to the TD Garden for Blazers Celtics. Go nowhere.
President's Day. It's a flag-waving red, white, and blue national holiday, and it's more than just a day off. It's a time for great deals on your favorite Toyota models, including up to $3,000 in cashback savings, APR financing as low as 0%, or special low-payment leases. There's special savings on nearly every new Toyota. Come drive the all-new 2019 RAV4. It's a complete redesign from the ground up. Or check out the new 2019 Corolla and Corolla Hatch. Get special savings on Tundras, Tacomas, Highlanders, Camrys, and more. Plus, nearly every new Toyota now features Toyota Safety Sense, a complete suite of safety features. And they're all backed by Toyota Care, Toyota's no-cost maintenance plan for 2 years or 25,000 miles, whichever comes first. Safety, peace of mind, and great President's Day savings. The Toyota President's Day event has been extended. For full details, visit buyatoyota.com or see your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. All financing and approved credit through Toyota Financial Services. All vehicles subject to prior sale. All prices plus tax and title. Dealer doc fees vary by dealer. For more details, call 1-888-21-TOYOTA. Offers end 2/28/19.
Benchwarmers Pub and Grill is all about good food, good brews, and great times with friends. Benchwarmers Pub and Grill has a huge menu of foods, from mouth-watering burgers to outstanding sandwiches and the best selection of fries in town. As the title sponsor of the Johnny Ballgame Show, Benchwarmers is committed to its community. It's the best place in town to watch the game with a great selection of HD TVs. Head on down, eat a tasty meal, and have a cold beverage. Benchwarmers Pub and Grill, located on Depot Street, downtown LeGrand.
Get rid of those old, worn-out tires and get the feel and confidence of new tires. Rock & Sons has tires. When it's time to change out winter tread or upgrade your all-seasons, family-owned Rock & Sons delivers fast, friendly tire service and value. Get the best quality tires like Goodyear, the #1 tire brand in North America. Rock & Sons also carries the quality and value of Goodyear and other reliable brands. Your dollar goes farther at family-owned and managed Rock & Sons, located on East Adams in LeGrand.
This is Damian Lillard of your Trailblazers. I believe it's on us to make sure kids have places to play. With the Motor Assist program, every Blazer assist on the court leads to better places to play in our community. Because the next assist can start a movement in a young person's health, attitude, and life.
Dame throws a pass far side McCollum. A 3 on the way. Ring it up!
Baker City, join the movement. Vote now at trailblazers.com/assist for your Geyser Pullman Park to receive the donation to build an all-abilities playground.
All right, welcome back. Your Ace Hardware finale. Ace is the helpful place. 2 locations. That's just Ace Hardware in Baker City and Ace Hardware in LeGrand. Face it, when you paint, look, it's a lot of work and time you put in. You want your paint to stick. You want your paint to look great for a long time. Get to Ace Hardware before you pull out that paintbrush. I'm telling you, they carry the paint brands you know and trust. All types of services, and they can match those colors with the best of them at Ace Hardware. Ronald Bond hanging out in studio with us, and let's talk prep hoops right now, Bondy, from a local level. LeGrand, Baker City, surrounding communities. Who's still left? Who's still playing, Bond?
Yeah. There we go. As far as who I cover, the teams left, Joseph Eagles girls basketball team, they play St. Paul, the only undefeated team left in 1A. 1:30 tomorrow in the first round in the quarterfinals, of the 1A tournament down in Baker City. Yep, down in Baker City.
Love state tournament week.
Powder Valley Badgers 8:15 tomorrow night down in Baker play Crane. One of only 3 teams that's beaten them this year.
Okay.
So that'll be a good one. And then the other way over the hill tomorrow night, Enterprise at 8:15 up at the convention center plays the Vernonia Loggers. Yep, Enterprise back in the state tournament for the first time since 2013. So a good run for them. And they got a bit of a fortunate draw because Vernonia knocked off the number 2 overall team going into the playoffs at the 2A ranks. And then LeGrand Tigers play their first round playoff game Saturday night, I believe, at Bank. So a team that beat them pretty handily earlier this year. So that's a tough draw. But, regardless, win, lose, or draw in that game, you get some experience, which would be great for those young players. So, yeah, state tournament is here. The LeGrand game, not tournament game yet because they're not final site.
So LeGrand still survived, the girls,
The
right?
girls, yeah. The girls are into the playoffs. They're a win from the tournament, but they've got a tough draw with Banks. And then, Thursday, Friday, Saturday at Baker and Pendleton. A lot of fun coming up.
I love this time of year, Bond. And your coverage at the Observer, I mean, this is really when you can flex your muscles, Bond, and really let this community know how valuable you are to it. And, I've been a fan of your work a long time, and this time of year, following, you want to keep in tabs with this. What's the best way? Do I follow you on Twitter? Do I go to the website? Where can I get the most access? Where can I get the most bondage right now?
I don't know if I should answer that question online. If you want good sports coverage... if you want coverage during the game, hit me up on Twitter, LGO Bond.
Yeah, LGO Bond, like LeGrand Observer Bond.
If you don't want to wait for me, definitely also check the OSAA website, though. They actually do play-by-plays of all these games.
Yep.
So
this is awesome, man. Great time of year. And Bond,
it's my favorite time of year.
Thank you for hanging out in studio with us today, and look forward to next week.
Sounds good. Appreciate it.
That's Ronald Bond with your LeGrand Observer for the local sports report and our Ace Hardware finale. Let's get you to the TD Garden, Portland Trailblazers, Boston Celtics. That's all I got.
Super Talk Radio, your home for Blazers basketball. KLBM LeGrand, KBKR Baker City.
That's more in tune with the bands that I have heard him think the most of.
He does like the 80s best, but I think it was tongue-in-cheek with the favorite artists. We'll say that.
Yes, yeah. I think there's no question
What about
you?
That. Are you 60s, 50s, 40s? What is it for you, Wheels?
7. I think
70s.
Even though my age would suggest I should be the 80s, but I think what I grew up listening to based on kind of some older people around me, that was probably the 70s. And I'm a Beatles fan first and foremost, so they obviously were the 60s, but classic rock was certainly more in the 70s, so that's probably why I would lean toward that. But I love Coach Stotts trying to change things a little bit by essentially taking half of one decade and half of another.
Yeah, that doesn't work. But that was before you explained the parameters to him. So
no, it wasn't really. I told him on the bus that I was going to ask him a question. And he goes, "Well, I'm going to, just." And I said, "You want to rehearse all your answers then?" And he said, and so I knew what he was going to say.
Pulling back the curtain.